our deep dive today, it's into a truly extraordinary life. Dr. A.P.J. Abdul Kalam. I mean, here's someone who started with basically nothing, really defied the odds, and, well, ended up leading a nation.
Exactly. We're looking at his incredible path, from being a young newspaper delivery boy back in Rameswaram, all the way to becoming the 11th president of India. We're using Kalam, A Life of Dreams and Service to India, as a bit of a guide here.
Right. So our mission really is to unpack those key moments, the struggles, definitely, and the principles that kind of shaped him into the missile man, and, left this legacy that still resonates. His story, it's almost like a blueprint, isn't it, for rising above your circumstances. Okay, so let's start right at the beginning. His upbringing was humble, we know that. But what specific things there, despite the hardship, sort of set the stage for what came later?
Well, he was born in 1931, and his family in Rameswaram, they really struggled financially. It was pretty constant. Yeah. So young Kalam, he actually started delivering newspapers just to help the family make ends meet. And he was doing this while still going to school.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So that early responsibility combined with, he was just naturally bright, especially in science and math, that was crucial. And his teachers saw it. They really encouraged him, which made a huge difference.
That drive definitely seems to have started early. And he aimed high, right? Aerospace engineering at Madras Institute of Technology. That's a massive dream for a small-town kid back then. Must have been tough.
Oh, absolutely. Huge hurdles. The fees alone were, basically impossible for his family. But his sister, she actually mortgaged her own jewelry to pay for his education.
No way. That's an incredible sacrifice.
It really was. And, what's really insightful is how he handled setbacks even then. His first dream actually was to be a fighter pilot.
Right, I read that.
But he missed getting selected by just one rank, one single spot.
Oof. Devastating.
For most people, that would be crushing. But Kalam, he kind of instinctively knew, it seems, that ambition wasn't just about one specific job. It was about channeling that drive, finding a way to make an impact, even if it meant changing direction completely.
And that ability to reframe disappointment, to pivot.
Exactly. It became a kind of theme in his life. It didn't stop him. It actually pushed him towards, arguably, even greater things.
And what a redirection. Okay, so instead of letting that pilot dream derail him, he joins DRDO and later ISRO. And this path basically changes India's scientific future.
Precisely. He ended up leading the team that developed India's very first satellite launch vehicle, the SLV-3.
Okay.
And it worked. It successfully deployed the Rohini satellite. I mean, think about that. A huge achievement for India at the time, showing they could develop this complex technology themselves.
Right, that indigenous capability.
Yeah, and that success, it directly paved the way for India's missile programs.
Which leads us to that famous nickname, the Missile Man of India.
Yeah.
That came from this work.
Indeed. Mm-hmm. His leadership on projects like Agni and Prithvi was critical. They really solidified India's defense posture. And he also played a key role, though it's sometimes seen as complex, in India's 1998 nuclear tests at Pokhran.
Right, which made India a nuclear power.
Yes. But here's the thing. Despite leading these massive, nation-defining scientific projects, he apparently remained incredibly humble, always connected to young people. That quality really carried into his next surprising chapter.
That connection, it clearly resonated, because in 2002, he, a scientist, not a career politician, gets elected the 11th president of India. Mm-hmm. How did that happen? How did he become so beloved?
It's fascinating, isn't it? I think his science background gave him a unique sort of practical perspective, but it was more his simple lifestyle, his genuine warmth, especially towards children, and his speeches. They were incredibly inspiring.
The people's presence.
Exactly. He just bridged that gap between the highest office and ordinary people. And even after his term ended, he didn't stop. He went right back to teaching, motivating young people all over India. That mantra of his, dream, 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 dreams transform into thoughts and thoughts result in action, it really struck a chord.
It became an anthem for a generation, you could say.
Absolutely. His legacy is just immense. And his passing in 2015, it was, in a way, perfectly fitting. He was giving a lecture at IIM Shillong, doing exactly what he loved most, teaching, inspiring, right to the very end. His life just continues to be this powerful example.
So wrapping this up, what does this incredible journey mean for you listening right now? Dr. Kalam's life. It's such a testament to sheer perseverance, isn't it? The power of sacrifice and how powerful a dream can be no matter where you start from.
Yeah, so what can you actually take away from a life built on that kind of resilience, that dedication to service? How does his whole philosophy of dream, 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 how might that apply to your own goals, your own aspirations, however far off they might seem?
And it does raise an interesting question, doesn't it? Here's a man who reached the absolute top pinnacle of science, highest office in the land, yet he passed away doing what he loved most, teaching, inspiring the next generation. What does that ultimate dedication tell us about, maybe, what true fulfillment really means? What lasting impact looks like perhaps beyond